When I started writing this video, I thought Maleficent's story had no meaning, that she was just here to collect and motivate all the Disney villains. A Kingdom Hearts Nick Fury. But now that I've combed through all of her scenes, I finally understand her. So let's take this one step at a time. Before Kingdom Hearts, Maleficent was the villain of a Disney movie called Sleeping Beauty. A lot of people forget that story. In her original story, the three fairies Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather gave magical gifts to Princess Aurora at her christening. Maleficent, the evil fairy, was pissed off. She was really mad that the king didn't invite her, so out of petty revenge, she cursed his daughter to die on her 16th birthday. One of the fairies, Merryweather, weakened the curse so that she would just go in a coma instead. Aurora was then hidden away and raised by the fairies, and Maleficent waited until the perfect moment to put her into a coma and kidnap her boyfriend. Flora, for some reason, put everybody in the kingdom in a coma, an incredible overreaction, until her and the kingdom could wake Aurora. As a result of this, the world was abandoned, and Philip was locked away to age until he was 80 years old and see Aurora for 5 minutes before Maleficent would kill him. It's a pretty metal story that was written in the 50s, but holy shit, it's awesome. I kind of want to watch the movie again. In Birth by Sleep, from this point on in the lore of Kingdom Hearts, Maleficent's story had changed from that point on. Maleficent had everything she wanted. She controlled everything and everyone, and she even had Prince Eric to torture for fun. But after all this time, with nothing to conquer, she needed more. She wanted more. And that's when Xehanort arrived. He was an evil wizard, kind of like her. He told her about other worlds, about the power of the Keyblade, how hearts could be severed from time itself. He told her about an ancient legend. The Keyblade could unlock 7 hearts of pure light and use their power to open Kingdom Hearts. You know, that's the name of the game. And control everything. Xehanort was just using her, but Maleficent was just using him. They were allies, but each of them thought the other was the weak one. Xehanort asked her to trick Terra, steal Aurora's heart, watch out for Aqua, and leave Ventus alive. After he left, all 3 of them would arrive, she would meet Terra, she would pretend she didn't know anything. She knew there was an entire universe out there, countless worlds to conquer, so much power to wield, and a new form of darkness to channel. She could control it. All Maleficent wanted was power. Power over others, power to control. She wanted to dominate, to hold dominion over all. So she controlled Terra's mind. She forced him to steal Aurora's heart. And once she received this newfound power, she pledged to find the 7 hearts of pure light, get someone with a Keyblade to help her, so she could control all worlds. A lot of people missed that Xehanort arrived earlier in the story, but if you watch all the playthroughs, she lets it slip every couple of scenes what he actually told her. Ventus arrived, she didn't want to fight him because she was ordered not to, but she tried to kick his ass, and guess what? He kicked her ass. He left to go find Terra, and Aqua tried to tell her off. After Aqua was banished to the dungeon, Maleficent probably should have just killed Aqua, because immediately after sending her to the dungeon, Aqua broke Prince Philip out of jail and then attacked Maleficent. She was upset, so she became a dragon. It's kind of her thing. She even covered the land in black thorns, just like the movie. But yet again, Aqua and Prince Eric beat her ass with the power of love, and Maleficent misty-stepped away. So now that she understands how all this stuff works, 10 years later, after messing around, trying to figure out how to leave the world, trying to figure out who the 7 lights are, gathering fellow Disney villains like an evil Nick Fury, she actually did it. The plots of all of Kingdom Hearts 1 are her capturing the 7 princesses. And while her team was working hard, she was tricking Riku to work for her. She took advantage of this confused kid, and just like Terra, slowly helped Ansem possess him. Every time he was about to realize his mistakes, she would nudge him back to the dark side. But what she didn't know was Ansem was actually Xehanort, something that has shocked everyone for years. When she least expected it, he unlocked the darkness in her heart and forced her to become a dragon against her will. And while she was fighting Sora, he killed her. Back then, she was just a Disney villain, someone for Ansem to control. But now, after a lot of retcons, I think she's really important. In the mobile games, as hard as they are to get into, she was lost. her heart untethered from time. Suddenly, she found herself far in the past, in a digital world. She didn't know it was a digital world, but as she found herself in this world, she tried to do a do-over and to finish what she started, but she always loses. She learned a lot of things about time travel, how everything she chose would be etched in her heart forever. She spoke with one of the ancient darknesses and learned about a magic book, the Book of Prophecies. And with this book, she could see the future. She could know all, and she would never die again. She didn't understand that this whole world was a trap, that she was in some kind of digital world that she could change nothing in. But she made a new ally, an ally who no one even really remembers. Darkness made a deal with her in exchange for leading her back to the real world, back to the future to be resurrected. She would be a waypoint for Darkness to use. And I believe that in the next few games, she will be the portal that all Darknesses walk through. Surprisingly, she's actually pivotal to the plot, especially the next plotline. After some time in the past, she made the deal, and she had now returned to her own time. Her 3 sisters, the fairies, remembered her. With this knowledge, she was born again. In Darkness's own words, her heart grew a new body. She had returned to life. She found only one survivor from her league of villains. The only guy who didn't get the memo. A gullible idiot named Pete. He never stopped being by her side, her idiotic tool. With his help, she tried so many things. Many little schemes here and there throughout the games. The cornerstone of light. A magical time-traveling doorway that no one really understands. With that, she could finally destroy Disney Castle. But Pete was kind of a terrible lackey, kind of a bad henchman, so it all really fell apart. But she always forgives him. She really likes him. He's basically her pet dog. She kept traveling, trying to figure out where the Book of Prophecies was, trying to find out Xehanort's plan and kill him for revenge. She even helped Sora survive against a common enemy a couple of times. But in the end, she just kind of sat back and watched as the other half of Xehanort, Xemnas, died. But more important than all of that, there's a game called Coded that I never like to talk about and that no one understands, and maybe I'll do a deeper dive later. In the plot of this game, Mickey and his friends are trying to decode a hidden message in a book, and they manage to create a digital world. It's very similar to the one Maleficent was in the past. She wasn't sure how she knew about all this, but she started to remember. She needed to understand this world. She didn't really understand the data escape or computers because she's from a fantasy world, but she did remember the book. She tried to corrupt Data Riku and put bugs in him, creating the dumbest meme in Kingdom Hearts, but it didn't really work out. What she did learn in that world was everything that happens in the mobile games. She even hinted about fictional worlds, which is very interesting because in the next few Kingdom Hearts games, they're going to be delving into the realm of fiction, and she kind of is fiction. Like Pete says, that sounds like a fairy tale, and she says, who says fairy tales aren't real? Like she knows. I almost wonder if there's even more information that she learned, because we never actually see her travel to the future. It cuts away. But anyway, after all these failed schemes, all these mistakes, she had learned a lot. She knew she needed to get ahead of things. So rather than deal with Sora and all these strange time travelers, she and Pete spent all of Kingdom Hearts 3 investigating a box, a mysterious box, hidden for generations. A lot of rumors say that the Book of Prophecies is hidden inside it. Nobody knows for sure what's in there, but that's what she thought was in it. She looked everywhere for it, even finding Pandora's box and throwing it away, but it wasn't what she needed. Eventually, after the big battle was over, she and Pete watched Lushu and our group of foretellers dig up the box. So now, after her various schemes and plans, Maleficent is the only character who knows what's coming. She's the only character that is going to allow Darkness to travel forward in time. I think in the next few Kingdom Hearts games, she is going to be a major player. Maleficent's story isn't the most epic or interesting in all of Kingdom Hearts. She's just kind of there, but she's always doing something behind the scenes. She's a simple character with a simple goal. She fought our heroes many times, and despite her getting her ass kicked every single time, over and over, because fighting a dragon is fucking awesome, she even shows up in Dark Road for like a couple of minutes just to be the dragon. Like, she doesn't even show up, it's just the dragon. But despite all of these deaths, she always seems to get closer to uncovering the mysteries of Kingdom Hearts. She's basically just looking for the lore Bible. And I mean, come on, she's clearly the best Disney villain. Did you see Maleficent, Mistress of Evil? That movie fucking rips ass, dude. That movie is epic as fuck. People be flying dragons and shit. Like, not flying on dragons, being dragons. There's like a war between like Fey elf god people and like humans. It's nuts. Anyway, I'm Aloni the Bard, and that's what I know about the Mistress of Evil. Thanks for listening. Bye. That one was interesting. I had to rewatch way more than I thought. I had like 67 clips to go through. Her story isn't like confusing like most of Kingdom Hearts, but it's really hard to notice. I almost missed the entire part where Darkness explains literally everything to her. I mean, there are more important stories to talk about in Kingdom Hearts. That's why I'm only talking about her now, but she's always there and she's always doing something. Anyway, this week, I've been working on some bigger videos for my other channel, so you should check out my Hollow Knight video. I made it a while ago. I think it deserves a little bit more love than it gets, so check out more stuffs right here. Anyway, see you next week.